So today I decided to take the bus home, actually two of them. On the first bus, like a few minutes after I got on, the driver was coming to a light, and there was enough time where he could go, right? He can make the light. There was a white van coming from the other way on the other side, and it looked like it was stopping. But then all of a sudden it stepped on the gas, and really quickly went to turn right in front of the bus, and the bus driver had to screech to a halt. And this is what they do. Like they set up shit like this, because they have to keep the target stressed and anxious all day, every day, all night. You know, you cannot have a break from anxiety. Right. So then I had to switch buses. The second bus I had waited like maybe 15 minutes for, and you know, like they will set it up so that there are going to be perpetrators around you, right? And if they have enough time, they'll already be there. If not, they'll come later. But so by the time I got on, they were already there. The bus was crowded, which is that's to be expected in that area. But there was really only one place I could sit where I wouldn't be practically on top of someone. So I sat in that location, and it was bad because there was the one guy sitting to my left. He wasn't facing me, but he held his camera out and to the side so that the camera would be facing toward me. He was pretending to talk on his phone, but there was no one talking back to him. I'm sitting right there, right? The phone was not barely toward his ear. Like it was practically like, it was inches from his ear. And I know he couldn't hear anything. I'm sitting right there. It was not far from my ears either. And we know there are applications where people can record in the background without the camera actually being on or showing that it's on. So then to my other side, so then like I was sitting on diagonally facing the back door. And so there was this woman sitting, so then there are like stairs that go up, and you can sit on one side or the other. There's this woman sitting on the other side, and she had her hands over the rail, like looking over. She's sitting right over me, looking over. She had her bag out and her phone out. And although the bag was covering most of the phone, it was positioned just perfectly where the camera was sticking out a little bit. Not a little bit, I mean, the entire camera could be seen, but unless you were up close, you couldn't see that the camera was not covered. And she's pointing it right at me. And every now and then looking at me kind of intensely, like she's waiting for me to do something. This is the shit they do. This is what they do. You know, a few days ago, I went down to a different area of the city because I sometimes I just want to get away, and I want to go somewhere where the perpetrators are less likely to be. And it's not an unpopulated area either, but typically there should not be perpetrators there. And I've done this a few times to that same area, and aside from a few cases where a few people followed me, it hadn't been that bad. But the last time I went a few days ago, I can't go there. I can, just like I would go to any normal area of the city, but I can't go there to get away anymore because now they're there. You know, it's like you can go somewhere for, once or twice or a few times and it'll be fine, but eventually the perpetrators catch up to you and they infiltrate. So I went a few days ago, and I wanted to get another tattoo in that area. I already got a tattoo in a different area. I've never been to this location before to get a tattoo, but I wanted to get another tattoo, right? And I wanted to do it in that area of the city. And that went fine. Like I did that after I had walked around for a little bit, and that was okay. But before that, I just gotten off the train. I took the train that time. There's this guy, and he was white, and he followed me, and then we stopped at a corner, and he looked like, he was looking at me. He was like trailing me, and then he got a little bit in front of me, and then he trailed behind me. Then we got to the corner. He seemed like he was going to pass, and then he came back, did a little throat clear, and he's looking at me as he comes back, and then looking at his cell phone, and then looking at me and texting something. Did the throat clear, did the nose twitch, just to show me, hey, I'm still here, they're here. I'm thinking, okay, well, fine. I knew that was going to happen, right? So I went to a few places, and this time the people looked suspicious of me. So it's done. You know, I can't go there for any peace and quiet anymore, because now whatever filthy, slanderous garbage these vermin have been spewing about me has hit that area too. But anyway, so later on I had gotten the tattoo, went fine. Then I went home and I got on the train, and it was crowded, and at that time of the night it's going to be crowded. So that's not the issue. Normally on the train I stand up, but this time I was tired. It was a long day, and yeah, I was just tired. So I sat down, and there's this woman who came and stood right in front of me. Now, she could have stood off to the side. There was still room. She could have, it would have been more practical to stand off to the side a little bit. But she comes and stands right in front of me and looks almost, not authoritative, but I don't know what the word is. Like I had been doing something wrong, and she wasn't gonna goddamn move. She's gonna stand there and record me. She was on her phone, and she shoved that right in my face, and she's got it. She's holding it over me the entire time, standing over me, holding the phone over me. She's acting like she's texting something, and maybe she is texting something, but she's holding that damn thing right over my goddamn face. She could have moved over. She did not. Okay, there was no reason for her to stand like that, and she was doing it willfully, because I started to get angry, and she would not move. Yeah, that's what's happening. And you know, too, like, I've been having panic attacks where, and like, when I don't know how many of you have had panic attacks, but it feels like you're dying. Like, it's panic. It's your heart races. You can't breathe. You know, you think something is really wrong. Well, I also have trouble breathing. Like, I have issues. I have asthma. You know, so it's hard to tell, like, what it is. You know, is my asthma getting worse? Is it a panic attack? What caused what? But what'll happen is, like, I'll already be having trouble breathing. Then they'll call me, they'll shove cameras in my face, and I know that they're sending those images to the psychopaths who have put cameras in. I know they've seen me in the bathroom, they've seen me on the toilet, because they'll have people repeat to me things that I've said in private, even in the bathroom. Okay? So they want me to know they're watching me in private, and that's a violation that's sick, it's perverse. And I always wonder, you know, whoever is holding those cameras up over me, how much do they know of that? Or are they completely oblivious? Do they have no clue that's going on? Either way, those psychopaths who have seen me naked are going to have those pictures of me now, right? Because I think these people are told to monitor me, and not just that, but also to tell them what I'm wearing so that I'm easier to pick out in a crowd. So these psychopaths know where I am at every point, all day long. So I panic. I almost want to rip out of my skin when that happens, because I know those fucking psychos are getting those more images of me to mock and to gawk at, and to, you know, it's a horrible feeling. And I start to panic, and I am already having trouble breathing. So, you know, there's the asthma, then on top of the panic attack, where it makes it hard to breathe, and the rapid heart rate. And then with the rapid heart rate, I start wondering if there's anything wrong, like with, I have cardiac issues, so then I panic even more. And through all of that, I have to try not to react, because if I look upset, if I look panicky, that just proves to these sick, stupid lackeys that there's actually something wrong with me. And I don't mean physically, I mean like I'm bad. Like I'm mentally ill, or I've done something wrong, on the grounds of, you know, why would I react that badly if I hadn't done something wrong? And these sick fucks don't realize that there's stalking, and there's, you know, harassment, and there's even sexual harassment. I mean, that happens to women and men in these situations. You know, it's when you're being followed, and you know that the people behind it have already seen you fucking naked. Yes, you're gonna panic. Yes, it's a horrible feeling, and yes, it's hard. It's hard to hold still, right? It's hard to not respond. But the perpetrators are taught that a response means you're bad. They're taught to use your responses to prove whatever horrible thing was said about you. So you have to try to not react, and it's perverse. It's fucking perverse. Anyway, that's what's going on. There's some guy shouting. I don't know if that's coming from outside or next door. Later.